Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel. Today we can see cryptocurrencies are kind of stagnant, but not all of them. We can see just Bitcoin SV getting pumped 15% in last 24 hours. And if we look at Cardano, Tezos, it's actually doing kind of same. It's going up 5% and 10% respectively. Now, if we look at XRP, and this is XRP chart on a 4-hour, now we have like a long-term pattern which is forming here, and it just broke to the upside. That's a positive news. But at the same time, what we have to understand is currently we are trading a new pattern. Say this is a rising wedge, and yes, we can see that the price is actually supporting this area. You can see this area, the price is actually reflecting this area. So whenever the price is getting towards this area, it's getting support. Buyers are getting in and they are pushing the price up. But if we actually look at the pattern, see the rising wedge, what we can see is it usually breaks to the downside. Say 65-70%, it breaks to the downside. So in short term, it's kind of a bearish pattern. So if you are looking to trade this market, then you should be expecting a kind of a pullback here if the price goes below this area. Otherwise, you should actually wait until you get a confirmation whether to the downside or to the upside. If you're a buyer, then you should actually wait till the price breaking out, or once the price break out and retest that area, you can actually buy in. But if you're a short-term trader, yeah, you can trade within this trading range. Now, if you actually look at this entire area, see that's a falling channel there, the downward sloping channel. And if you look at the downward sloping channel, the chances are that the price go to the upside if it is breaking to the upside. So you can actually understand that. Say the price is here is breaking to the upside and then pointing to the upside. Here, if it is coming to the downside, then it's a bearish pattern. So in the same aspect, in the longer term, say we actually managed to break above this trend line, we went up, so that's actually a bullish news. So in the shorter time frame, what you have to consider is the price may correct back, retest maybe 0.2, maybe 0.21 area as of based on this chart and this pattern. Now we have to look at some of the news which are really interesting, and it's I really want to share many Twitter post and news article today, but I don't know whether we'll get that time because there's a lot to cover today, so I'm not wasting any time. We'll jump into all the newses, but just before that, I would like to highlight, if you guys do like the content I provide on a regular basis, please do support the channel, hit the subscribe button, and do comment your suggestions below in the comment box. So this is the first one from Yeshua Taylor. It's showing, maybe you remember me talking about the latest agenda. So finally, the theme here is like firms who are not actually caring anything about climate change will actually go bankrupt. This is actually from Mark Carney. He was in a Bank of England. So the governor actually is warning a financial collapse linked to climate emergency. So if you guys remember, we actually went through an article in this channel on which they are actually focusing on a new financial system pointing towards the climate change. So it's the area where we actually told to the XRP community that, guys, we can be happy, we don't consume much energy, we are like green and go ahead. But there are proof of works which actually eat a lot of energy. So considering that, if anyone is considering a new financial system, they won't be targeting proof of concept, proof of work. And we also know that IMF chief used to say that it's far from bitcoins, which we were talking previously, right? Okay, this is the next one from at Stedas. It's showing that a tweet from statement from David Schwartz. The end game is just money moving invisibly as easily as information. So yes, if XRP or on-demand liquidity is used by the banks, then yes, of course, the end consumer may not actually understand that the transaction is happening through a digital asset. They'll just get to know that it was transferred immediately at kind of zero cost. Now there's the next one from Sergeant Obi-Wan, showing 38 of the world's largest 100 banks have tested, integrated, or invested in Ripple's remittance technology. So that's actually huge. See, if 38 of the top 100 banks in the world are doing this, then yeah, there will be a tipping point when, you know, others will be like, okay, we are getting behind, we'll just jump in the wagon and then test if it works for us. Because they don't, it's not about them, it's about all of us, human nature. No one wants to get left behind. Even if you're in a business and if you're working with money, then that's for sure. Now there's the next one from Mac Attack XRP. It's showing that Ripple's XRP is being adopted by almost every Japanese bank. So that's actually huge news, because we know that Japan is actually high on XRP or RippleNet. They are actually so positive about this asset, and they are actually working to make it happen before the Osaka event is gonna happen. They want that to get a standardized digital asset working for them within 2025, before that Osaka event gets off. Now there's the next one from Kevin Cage. Now I like his perspective, that's why I'm sharing most of his ideas like this. There's one of the main questions before I see people that are way smarter than me shorting their stock and explaining it's inevitable. 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. So he's actually replying to previous one, which is like, when will Deutsche Bank go belly up? Now yeah, we know that it's kind of gonna happen, or they are gonna do something which they haven't done previously. Maybe coming into a digital asset, working with a digital asset, taking out their liquidity from Nostro accounts, trying to manage things up. So yes, it's possible. Now yeah, plenty of retailers have been pointing towards Deutsche Bank. However, many have been discussing for years. Now if we look at the next one, it's from Ian Northing, showing item from a Ripple Crippler, and he's actually showing like, alright guys, it will come out shortly, the court case will be dismissed. Also, Brad is pulling strings behind the scene at Davos this year. He will not be an influential speaker, but influential nonetheless. This is the last chance to board the train before the train begins. Now we have to see whether that happens, because there's a lot of critique below that tweet. You can see that there's a lot of critique for that. Now there's the next one from Awake, and if you look at that, he's actually showing you can see there is a pattern forming here, and a similar one is achieved here. The only difference here is there's a low low, there's a higher low, like what I see in this, and whereas here, if you see here, this is like a lower low. So that's kind of a bearish for me, but he's actually pointing to the upside, whereas I still stand with this one. Say if it's in a shorter term, the price may get corrected till 0.2. Now yes, this is all just the game of probability. If there is some kind of news or something else come in contrary, the price can actually go to the upside. That's completely true. Now there's the next one from the block, and I'm not sure about this news, but I really wanted to share with you guys, because last time when we were talking about South Korea, we actually read and discussed about a news article which was actually talking that South Korea is gonna give its residents zero tax for crypto profits for next 2 years. So this is kind of surprising for me, because I'm someone who lives in South Korea, and I'll actually update you guys on this, because if the governments are kind of getting ahead of this, say they are looking at a coming recession and they want to take more money from the residents, then yeah, they can be planning something like this. But at this point, I'm not sure about that, and I will check on that and update you guys later. Now there's the next one showing from CNN Business, and while listening to this, it's interesting that he states, I believe we are going to see much bigger shift in capital than we currently anticipate. So the traditional industry, as we talk in this channel, is gonna move their capital from one place to another, and you have to guess where it's gonna go. The digital assets are gonna take at least 10 to 20% of those moving capital. Say in that capital, I personally look at the Nostro accounts, which will be accounting to 10 trillion or more. Say if 10% to 20% of that is coming into digital asset, the total market cap would be so much higher than what it is now. Now moving on to the next one, it is actually showing bank XRP, HSBC. What are the most compelling use cases for distributed ledger technology in the capital markets? And in their state, you can see, for example, Ripple's XRP ledger provides the real-time cross-border settlements using tokens that represent central bank currencies. In foreign exchange, HSBC's Forex Everywhere tool processed more than 3 million intercompany FX transactions, worth 250 billion in its first year. So that's kind of really huge. I don't know how to express that, but you can see that HSBC as a multinational financial institution, pointing that XRP ledger provides you something like this, represents the central bank currency. So Brad was actually talking about this, right? If you have a coin for yen and a coin for dollar, still if you need to maneuver in between, you need a bridge asset. So they are considering Ripple's XRP as a bridge asset. They're not actually talking about the X current or something like that, because they're directly talking about XRP ledger and representing central bank currencies. Now this is the next one from at WKAHNEMA, and I'm not good in pronouncing this one, so I'm sorry for that. Now Ripple customer Eurexim made the following statements. They are world's first regulated bank to adopt Ripple's on-demand liquidity. They are creating sophisticated mobile apps and building a crypto exchange. So see, a bank is coming in working for a crypto exchange. That's the second thing. But the first thing is a regulated financial institution, a bank. Now they are operating on-demand liquidity, which is rapid, literally using the digital asset XRP. Now the next one is from Peter Vass, showing that now both of this from Peter Vass. What you can understand from this is like two countries looking at their own digital currency. We were actually talking about this, right? Japanese yen, US dollar, Indonesian currency, and then you can actually see that China's central bank, Indonesia, and all are actually looking at their own central bank digital currency, which will actually increase the mobility of their fiat. So nations will not be left behind. They'll actually jump in the wagon. Now if you actually look at the last one, it's from King Solomon, showing hedge funds become FX market makers on Ripple. I want to highlight this to you guys: hedge funds becoming FX market makers on Ripple. So if that is going to happen, then it's going to be huge. If you consider the digital asset transfer platforms, there is an internet protocol, and if you remember, we talked about Hutchins, since I forgot the actual name of the guy, but I believe it's Hutchinson or Hutchins from New York Fed. He was talking about the protocol, underlying protocol is the key. So I believe this is the key for that. So example, Ripple interbank payments can provide real-time settlement. Guys, this is really huge. It's really huge. Now we'll actually look at XRP on a daily to understand where we are in the market cycle. So in this entire market cycle, say from last 4 years, we can see that we closed one cycle, the next one started. Now I personally feel that we have started the next one, but the problem is the market is still so immature. It has to get matured, and we are standing somewhere here. It's the start of a new rally here, but yeah, no one can actually showcase that whether we are here or here. It's cryptocurrency, right? The market is so manipulated that you can't actually get or know everything. But yes, you can go through the charts, look at the fundamentals, and analyze where we are to get the probability that what's kind of happening next. That's only to safeguard you from a huge loss. Say if you are a short-term trader, then you should be keeping your stop losses below this area. Say if you are looking to sell this asset, then your stop loss should be somewhere here. If the price is breaking to the upside, then you should be taken out. And if you are in the opposite side, then yes, the vice versa. Now guys, that's all for today, and again I would like to request you guys, if you guys like the content I provide on a regular basis, please do support the channel, hit the subscribe button and like button. If you guys have any suggestions, do let me know in the comment section below. I'll meet you guys on the next one. Bye for now.